Sorry, I missed
I
that,
think
Dave.
Piers can attest to this. Being in the business we're in, you're going to get election predictions wrong. I have no problem admitting that. I get election predictions wrong all the time. But when it comes to getting the ideas right, I think I've had a pretty damn good track record on that. And again, you're just illustrating why nobody likes progressives. Your smug, holier-than-thou attitude, it's just disgusting to most people. You think you're the savior for people that want nothing to do with you. And frankly, for all the David Pakman subscribers that want to watch a show that actually is informative and funny and interesting and, dare I say, irreverent, I would tune into the Rubin Report.
What's up, guys? Buckle up, because today we're diving into a fiery clash between Dave Rubin and David Pakman, with Rubin absolutely unleashing on Pakman for his smug, progressive takes. If you're tired of the left's condescending tone and out-of-touch arguments, this one is for you. Let's see Rubin hold nothing back as Pakman scrambles to defend his weak points. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I think you can make that argument, but I think we're long past that argument. I would rather focus on what Joe Biden, I think, did right there, and what we now have in a very interesting, 2+ months of the remainder of the Biden administration, where basically Biden, or whatever's left of Biden, or whoever's driving Biden, no longer has to placate to the completely lunatic progressive fringe anymore. And Biden actually could take advantage of some of the reordering that we feel throughout the world right now, not just in America, but quite literally across.
Rubin's vision here is spot on. Biden could use these 2 months to shift gears, but let's be honest, he won't. And why? Because he's been too busy pandering to the radical left. Rubin's mention of reordering is pretty insightful. The world is ripe for a leader who understands the big picture, and spoiler alert, it's not Biden or Pakman's crew. It's gonna have to be a lot different than that.
Across the globe, and he can actually pave the way for a really nice transition into a Trump presidency that I believe is going to reignite the American dream and bring back an 80s style revolution in America. I think we're going to have a burst throughout the economy. I think it's going to be cultural. I think we're going to get new music and new art and new creativity and new businesses on the forefront of AI and all of these things. And Biden he has 2 months now where he could be like, you know what, we're going to get our 5 or 6 American hostages who are somewhere under Gaza back. We can do that. Like there's a real win for Biden to end up with here, rather than, oh, you ended up with dementia and then ushered in quite literally the worst candidate in American history and placated to the radical left for 4 years when you were sold to us as old, moderate Joe. So Biden, and again, we don't know if Biden's running the show or it's Jill or whoever, but I think there's a real opportunity for him right now to do the right thing and usher in a really strong 4 years for Donald Trump.
Okay, and David Pakman, the appointments that Trump has put forward so far, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will run a new Department of Government Efficiency. I mean, having, the most successful, richest and possibly smartest guy on the planet getting stuck into government bureaucracy, I would have thought that's very popular, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so funny. A Department for Government Efficiency, new department, when Trump wants to eliminate departments, and instead of being run by one person, it's being run by 2.
But they are going to eliminate, according to Musk, they are going to eliminate dozens of departments, though. So by the end of the process.
Finally, some real reform. Rubin slightly points out the genius of streamlining government. Pakman, as usual, clings to the bloated bureaucracy like it's a lifeboat. And here's the thing, Trump's plan isn't just efficient, it's necessary. And the left's outrage over trimming waste just proves how deeply they're invested in government dependency. Rubin's optimism for a smarter, leaner America is definitely refreshing.
He's going to get rid of 300 departments.
They're going to get rid of a lot of departments, David Pakman. So, I mean, that seems to me to be a good thing, doesn't it? Or do you think that they should be...
Yeah, listen, in his first term, it was not exactly promises made, promises kept. I'm going to reserve judgment to see what happens. And the reason why, and Dave, honestly, I know we're not getting along here. I do like you. I wish we were still friends. I'd love to get our kids together to play soon. Dave Rubin making predictions... No, is crazy because his predictions always go wrong. Red wave for Republicans in 2018 didn't happen.
Pakman thinks he's got a gotcha moment, but all he's doing is proving Rubin's point about progressive pettiness. Rubin's talking about big ideas and Pakman's busy nitpicking old predictions. Here's the truth. When it comes to shaping the cultural and political landscape, Rubin's batting average blows Pakman's out of the water. Pakman's obsession with numbers over narratives, that's why the left keep losing hearts and minds.
50% black vote for Trump in 2020 didn't happen. Republicans get 54 Senate seats in 2022. I've got a list of 30 Rubin predictions. They're always wrong. So I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and see.
I can see why you're looking for new friends, Pakman.
I missed that,
I think
Dave.
Piers can attest to this. Being in the business we're in, you're going to get election predictions wrong.
Here we go. Rubin makes a strong point, admitting his election predictions are always on the money. But here's the funny part. He's focusing on the bigger picture, the ideas that actually matter. And Pakman, meanwhile, is still stuck on tallying up failed guesses like some kind of smug scoreboard operator. This is classic progressive nonsense. Focus on the trees and ignore the forest. Rubin's laying out the groundwork to dismantle Pakman. Let's keep rolling.
No problem admitting that. I get election predictions wrong all the time. But when it comes to getting the ideas right, I think I've had a pretty damn good track record on that. And again, you're just illustrating why nobody likes progressives. Your smug, holier-than-thou attitude, it's just disgusting to most people. You think you're the savior for people that want nothing to do with you. And frankly, for all the David Pakman subscribers that want to watch a show that actually is informative and funny and interesting and, dare I say, irreverent, I would tune into the Rubin Report.
Well, they're probably all watching uncensored at the moment. Let me bring in Brian. I mean, Brian, sure. I thought it was very interesting, this meeting between Trump and Biden. They obviously can't stand each other. They've abused each other all year. But Biden did show him the respect of bringing him to the White House and shaking hands, and they talked about a smooth transition and stuff. I mean, that is good, isn't it? After the mayhem we saw 4 years ago, I mean, I like to see that. What I would hope is that Trump, in his inauguration speech, hits a much more unifying tone than he did in 2016.
Right. I mean, I guess we're 8 years into new tone for Trump. It's never going to happen. He is not that person. Biden afforded him every ounce of respect that he couldn't be bothered to show. And
This is a classic left-wing revisionism. Rubin calls it like it is. Biden's so-called respect is a thin veneer to cover 4 years of capitulating to the far left. Meanwhile, Trump's unapologetic style is what actually resonates with Americans. Unity? Forget it. Pakman and his ilk wouldn't recognize real readership if it hit them in the face. Rubin closes out strong, leaving Pakman to defend a president whose term has been defined by weakness.
Couldn't be bothered to show Joe Biden or any Democrat over the last 4 years while he lied about some big lie, and all of these right-wing mouthpieces perpetuated this lie with zero evidence, and they all just claimed that because Donald Trump was too small to admit that he lost, they all claimed that there must be some fraud, which magically disappeared as soon as 2024 rolled around.
All right,
so there was mass cheating that the Democrats figured out how to do when they didn't control government. But then when Democrats do control government, we just forgot to cheat this time around? The fact is that there is no acknowledgement from the right that for the last 4 years, these Republican officials that are listening to Donald Trump, these Republican mouthpieces like the ones on this panel, all lied because it served their political interests, but now they won't acknowledge that he was lying once it doesn't serve their political interests.
All right.
Dave Rubin absolutely dominates this exchange, exposing David Pakman as the smug, out-of-touch leftist we all know he is. From Biden's failures to Trump's plans for a leaner government, Rubin's points are not only bold, but they're unshakable. Pakman's attempts to nitpick only prove that. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or opinions down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with a lot of the points made here, this is a place for discussion. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, really helps out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.